All right, this is the studio. Over here we have the Arturia Matrix brute. Gotta love it. Won't go into explaining it. It's like sitting at a NASA Space Center. Over here I have a Hydrosynth, and the Hydrosynth is stacked with a Novation Peak. Love it. Very versatile. I just bought it because I thought it sounded cool. Same thing with the Hydra. Up here we have two Korg Ms-20s. I bought these back in the early 80s. They were the third and fourth synthesizers that I bought. These things are pretty awesome. You have two VCOs, you have your octave selectors, detuning, you have your VCO levels, you have a high pass and a low pass filter, you have some patchability. Pretty cool. Up here is the Roland digital sequencer, known as the CSQ100. That pairs off with the Roland SH09. Both of these I think I bought back in 1983. Going back down to my mixing board, it's a Mackie 16 channel. It has 4 effects ends on it. It's stereo, panable. It has linear faders on it, which are pretty nice. It's a little easier to work with, especially on your panning. Over here is the DeepMind 12. I think it's probably one of the best bang for the buck polys you can buy. I think they're around $700 or something. Pretty deep. The only thing I hate about it is this crunky LCD screen. Would have been nicer with an OLED on it, but who cares about that? It's more about the sound you can get out of it. Up here, I have a partial moved mothership. DFAM M32. Right now I'm basically using the M32 as a clock source for the two DFAMs. Cool thing here is if I do this and I do this, I can change the sequence of how it sounds, which is pretty cool. Down here have the Buchla easel command. This is a love-hate relationship, I think, with a lot of people. I love it. Sorry if you hate it. Your problem, not mine. Up here, I have a Syntrex, which is a really weird piece. It's kind of a rebuild based off of the EMS-BC3 or something like that. I can't remember, but it's a late 60s or early 70s mono synth. Pretty bizarre. Unlike the original one, this one has a digital matrix that you move through using this 2 buttons here. And by pressing them, it sets it in the matrix. You can also set the value, and there are 3 different values that you can set if you're going to do that. I use it primarily for drones, but it's a great noise box. Down here, I have the O control and the Zero Coast, if I remember correctly. This is a noise box. I absolutely love it. Right now it's unplugged because I don't have enough room in my mixer. Kind of weird little sequencer. Way different from what I'm used to working with. Over here is the Pittsburgh Modular 3900. It's currently not plugged in. It's another one of those things people are either going to love or they're not going to like. It doesn't really matter to me. Here's my nod to Volca, little modular. I think it's their most expensive one. For play toy, it's absolutely fun, makes all kinds of weird noises, and it kind of reminds me of the Buchla easel. Arturia Fuse AD converter, not plugged in yet. I'm waiting to move some stuff around the studio so that I can bring in a second 16-channel Behringer mixer down here. And since I'm down here, I may as well show you some other crap. Bunch of old effects for when I was playing mostly guitar, an old phaser by MXR and MXR distortion, and then an old Ross distortion, and that's actually the first effect that I had for my guitar. The phaser was the second. And for guitars, I have a left-handed Ibanez Les Paul copy that's black. I had it refretted, left the old pickups in it because I just love the sound of them, absolutely different. 2 Morley pedals, a wah pedal, and a volume pedal. Little noisy these days, so it's like at this point I need to clean them up to play them. Over here, I have an old standard favorite, which is the Multivox Multi-Echo. It's a tape echo. Absolutely awesome echo box. Does a great reverb, and it has a swell setting on it that gives you this really thick sound. A Behringer Odyssey. Shade on Behringer all you want, but they do a good job of putting stuff together, and it's actually pretty solid. Sounds nice. Here is another nod to Behringer. A 2600. It's the Blue Meanie. The big distinction between the regular 2600 and the Blue Meanie is that this has a plate reverb in it instead. For stuff that I'm currently not using, but will get plugged back into the board. Arturia Mini Brute 2. Behringer Neutron. Another great noise box, pretty much what I use it for. I have a Model D, and the Model D usually I patch together with the M32 to create a stereo bass sound. And then, of course, the Moog Subharmonicon, which I really miss having in the mix, but it is what it is. Over here, Arturia Key Step. Not using it right now, but the intention is to take it and plug it into either the Buchla easel or the Syntrex. A piece of crap from the 80s known as the Roland TR626. Love on them all you want, can't stand it. Another Roland MIDI controller back here. Doesn't seem to work reliably, so it's off. It's probably 30 years old at this point. So that's pretty much it. Hope you found it interesting. Leave a comment downstairs if you're interested, or not. Doesn't matter. Play to play. Have fun. Bye.